Winter has finally arrived here in central Pennsylvania. I hope you enjoyed all that snow we were supposed to get. Scare tactics at its finest. Good job, meteorologist. Well, just sit right back because the center of it all has some feel-good stories coming your way. Good Sunday morning, central Pennsylvania. I hope you welcomed winter's late arrival with open arms this past weekend. You know what? I love the cold and snow. But you know what else I love? A hot, warm breakfast to go along with a nice cup of English breakfast tea. Let's see what Mel has in store.
This time of year, more than a few of you are looking to cut carbs, increase protein, and add a lot of veggies to your diet. I know because I'm getting a lot of requests for recipes across my desk. When I'm in that mindset, and sometimes even when I'm not, I reach for my omelet pan. Today, I'm going to show you how to make an American omelet stuffed with steak, peppers, cheddar, and topped with a bold flavored, fresh chimichurri sauce. Let's get started. Chimichurri sauce made its way onto our Tex-Mex or Southwestern tables via Central America, via South America. Back in the 16th century, Spain sent boatloads of cattle to Argentina, where it quickly became the country's main source of protein. The cowboys, or gauchos, who herded the cattle, invented this green sauce made from herbs native to their region for their cowboy cooked steaks. I'm going to start to make my chimichurri sauce by putting 6 big cloves of garlic and a cup of red onion in the work bowl of my food processor. And I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to process this 15 or 20 times. So it's all minced. Just quickly scrape down the sides of the processor bowl. Now what I'm adding is 2 cups of cilantro leaves and a cup and a half of fresh parsley leaves. And you can add any proportions of these, and some people make it with all parsley. Some people add fresh oregano. I'm going to add some dried oregano because that's the way my family likes it. And now I'm going to put this back in the processor and pulse again. So everything. Carefully remove the blade from the work bowl. And with the spatula, I'm going to transfer all of this mixture into a small, medium-sized mixing bowl. Now the reason I'm doing this, instead of processing it again in the food processor when I add all of this stuff, is this is the way it's authentic to Argentina, the way they're mixing this together, take it out of the processor and then add these liquid ingredients to it. I'm adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of dried oregano, white pepper, black pepper, salt, sugar, tablespoon of lime juice, 1/4 cup red wine vinegar. Just going to mix this all together. That lime juice really makes it pop. And a 1/2 cup of olive oil last. Give it a real good mix. And you can taste it right now, but I don't recommend adjusting any of the seasonings because this needs to be covered and go in the refrigerator for at least a 1/2 hour and up to 2 or 3 hours to give all of the flavors time to marry, and at that point you can taste it and adjust it for salt or sugar. Whenever I'm making a hearty stuffed omelet, I'm making an American omelet, which is a little bit different than making its thinner, more delicate French omelet cousin. And that means that unless you really want raw vegetables in your omelet, and some people do, you have to saute them first. And I've put about a tablespoon of butter in this little pan, and I'm adding a 1/4 cup of red onion. I'm using red onion because that's what we put in our chimichurri sauce. And about 3 or 4 tablespoons of red and bell pepper. And I'm just going to let these saute for a minute or two, put them on the back of the stove, and make my omelet. These have been on the stove for about a minute and a half. They're bright colored and crunch tender. I'm just going to put this to the back and mix up an omelet.
It smells amazing, and when we come back, we finish up in Mel's kitchen and also check out a way to spice up our fitness routine and also get involved in the community. Welcome back. Time to head back into Mel's kitchen where she is standing by at the stove to finish that great omelet.
In the same pan, I'm melting a tablespoon of butter, and I'm swirling it around to coat the bottom and the sides nice and light, not too much butter, back on the hot surface of the stove. In this little cup, I've got 3 eggs whisked with 3 tablespoons of cream, which is basically 1 tablespoon of cream per egg, and some freshly ground sea salt and peppercorn blend. I'm going to pour this into my pan. And unlike a French omelet, which is done fast and kind of furious, that cooks in less than a minute, a stuffed omelet is slower and lower. Take a little bit of patience. It still doesn't take very long, less than 5 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, swirl, back to the heat, swirl. Now, what you're going to notice while I'm doing this is how the side of the eggs are starting to stick to the side of the pan. This is what you're looking for. Now we're actually looking like the sides and the bottom are starting to set up. And I'm not going to lie to you, you're going to regulate your heat up and down because underneath this omelet, it's important to go up and down. I'm showing you the technique. Now we're getting to the point where you can see it's setting around the sides. And once you can start peeling back the sides of the omelet, this is where it's important to pick up the pan and go all the way around the sides, keep tilting, and allow all of the liquid juices to flow underneath your eggs all the way around. You want to get as much of that liquid. Keep going down and through. We're swirling away. Okay, now I'm going to put, now you can see this is still moist on the top. This is exactly what you're looking for. It's moist, but this is going to change as it cooks. I'm going to lower the heat just a little bit. And I'm going to keep an eye on the bottom because at this point, no, we don't have browning and we don't want browning. What we're looking to do is just wait for these top eggs to get a little creamy. Don't be afraid to push them around a little bit. This is all going to be cooked through to the center when it comes time to eat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the heat a little bit more. I'm going to add my cheese to half of this, and I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of cheddar, and I'm using habanero cheddar. It's really spicy, really hot. So that's going on half. I'm going to put veggies next, and veggies next is important because when the cheese melts, this is what's going to hold all the vegetables in place. The veggies are still warm, so they're going to help melt that cheese a little bit. Now we're just going to wait just another minute or so. We're going to look at the bottom. See how nice and golden that's getting underneath there? And I've got about 1/2 cup of thinly sliced flank steak, which I cooked earlier. It's still slightly warm. And all I did was put this under the broiler 10 minutes per side and let it rest. We're going to top that second half with a nice goodly amount of steak. Now I'm going to turn my heat off. With the aid of a nice, I'm going to try to do this for the camera here, Andrew. With the aid of a nice big wide spatula, I'm just going to lift this side, the unfilled side over the filled side. Now I'm going to take this over, put it on a plate, and it's time to eat. Whether you serve it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, this omelet stuffed with steak, veggies, and cheese, topped with bold garlic and chimichurri sauce, and lettuce and tomato to the side, is a lot better than just a steak on a plate. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
That omelet was my first one ever. I'm not kidding. It was really, really good, so good that I might have to push pancakes out of my weekend rotation. And now that I got you all warmed up with that, how about we head over to the State College YMCA, where a great community event is taking place on Sunday, January 31st. Let's check it out. Your New Year's resolution, I hope, are in full effect still, but I know it's hard to stay motivated. For millions of Americans, working out is always a goal, but maybe it's becoming a little boring? I got just the event to add some flavor to that workout.
This is a great opportunity to try something. I have people that maybe aren't the greatest swimmer, and there's going to be all types of people here that are just, this is their first time trying this, that are getting in the pool for the first time, that they might just walk on the treadmill, they may not run. So it's an inclusive event that I'm looking forward to showing off here, showing off the Y.
State College YMCA's first annual indoor triathlon. For those who don't know, a triathlon is one of, if not the most grueling athletic competitions on the planet. Swimming, biking, and running in its most common form, made famous by the Ironman. But the Y has a different goal in mind.
We're doing a variation, putting a little twist on the triathlon here at the Y. I wanted to be friendly to a lot of people here. I wanted to do something to get out of the cold that we're, how cold it is right now. And I wanted a little friendly competition. So I wanted a lot of people to compete against some other people and to have fun and just get a good workout in.
Workout indeed. 10 minutes of swimming in 82-degree water, not bad, followed by 10 minutes of biking on spin bikes, capped off with 10 minutes on the treadmill. By the way, feel free to run up the hill to push yourself a little more. While the events are timed, distance will be measured during each round to determine an overall winner. And yes, Josh is pumped.
Exactly. Looking to just get people started, as well as people that are maybe a little more intense, looking for a challenge, a workout to do, a hard workout to do, some competition, but also include the people that this is their first time they've ever raced before.
Now, I'm not going to call anyone a slouch who doesn't participate. I'll be there watching for a follow-up story. But when you see the range and age of the contestants, you may feel some shame.
It's just cool to see people having the opportunity to get involved in the sport that I love. I have some kids that are probably 9, 10 years old, all the way up to, I'll have somebody that's, I think, in their 70s or maybe early 80s participating. So it's going to be a cool event for the community.
I mentioned that this is the first time this event has been run, so reception was key for the idea to morph into an actual event.
People are just saying to me how awesome this is, that it's not a scary time, it's not a scary distance, it's not, like I said, a 56 or 100-mile bike ride. It's something that's manageable.
Head over to the Y or find a way to get in touch to register for this great event. With a successful first run, look for more of these types of events to come to your State College Y. Really wishing Josh and everyone over at the State College YMCA the best of luck on the 31st. I'll be there, cheering you on, because I'm not the workout type. When we come back, we're going to head out to a local high school to check in on some high school students and their teacher to see how a local chapter is making the future of agriculture better for all of us. Glad you're still with us here on the center of it all. Whether it's taking home top honors at the Pennsylvania Farm Show or even being invited to the President's State of the Union address a couple weeks ago, big things are happening for the Bald Eagle chapter of the FFA. And they invited me out to take an inside look in their classroom to see everything that they're doing.
The work doesn't happen overnight, so a lot of the work that you see, or the product of the work that you see, started years ago.
Lots of work indeed, with projects starting as freshmen being completed as seniors under the watchful eye of teacher Todd Biddle. The Bald Eagle area chapter of the FFA has seen a meteoric rise the past few years.
Going from a school that didn't really have an FFA program a few years ago to now it's like everybody's heard about us. Some people even know our names and our faces even. They're like, oh, you're the person we heard about that did this, or we heard about you doing that. And knowing that a lot of people are starting to see our chapter working with the community is really awesome.
I'm really proud of everything that we've accomplished. We went from a FFA chapter that didn't really have as many people in it because nobody really knew about it to having one that everybody wants to be in because of all the experiences that we have here and how close we are to each other.
As the saying goes, there is no I in
Team, and that's one of the things about our chapter.
With the team approach, the students have been recognized locally and on the state level, winning multiple awards at the PA Farm Show for Best in Breed, Mini Landscapes, Livestock, and also 4 students earning the coveted Keystone degrees.
When we finally walked across the stage to actually receive our degrees, it was like, oh, I really am actually getting this. And it's really actually something big that I accomplished.
I just showed it at some shows, see how it would do against other rabbits, and it's done very well. So I decided to enter at the farm show, and so I just really worked on him, I focused on him. It wasn't really nerve-wracking or anything.
You gotta love kids. That attitude even when on the big stage. No surprise that Clayton was at ease. After all, FFA goals are leadership, growth, and preparedness. All things that Emily Trigg told me the FFA provided, and Mr. Biddle agrees.
It's a huge satisfaction knowing that I'm preparing students for the future, because these students are a product. And so if they are well prepared, and I think the bigger compliment is when they go to college and they come back and say, Mr. Biddle, you were a tough teacher, but you had me ready.
There is no bigger compliment than the respect of the student. Todd Biddle has that. He also has the respect of Congressman Glenn Thompson, who invited him as a guest to the State of the Union address.
I think it's really cool that Congressman Thompson invites guests from the community where he, is in charge. I look at it more as a showcase and celebration, but also the release of a report card.
Spoken like a true teacher. Tremendous kids, and congratulations to Todd and every single one of his students. Todd is actually going to be a guest when our new season of For the Record kicks off in just a few weeks. Can't wait to have him in here, get a little 30-minute discussion, because that is something you cannot cover in just that 4-minute stories. When we come back, we're going to take a look and give you some tips on how to get through this winter season with dry skin, and also a brand new segment on the center of it all that involves our furry little friend. Hope you stay warm when you head out later today on this cold Sunday. Some winter tips from the Cleveland Clinic on how you folks would combat some dry winter skin. Nothing feels better than a hot shower on a cold winter morning. But beware, that hot water is stripping away your skin's natural oil, making your skin drier. Personally, I could tell you, it's an itch.
Think of it as if you have butter on a knife and you need to rinse the butter off. If you put it under hot water, it melts away instantly. If you put it under cold water, the butter doesn't go anywhere. It's the same thing with the skin.
Rather than a really hot shower, run the water warm and keep it short. 5 to 10 minutes is best. I would have trouble with that myself. Dr. P. Liang also warned that harsh bar soap can be drying during the winter season. She says a mild, fragrance-free, sensitive skin soap is best. You can also look for cleansers that are moisturizing. And there are only certain areas of your body that need soap, like your armpits, groin, feet, hands, and face. She says water is enough to clean the rest of the human skin without stripping away the natural oils and moisturizers that are needed.
So the rest of your body doesn't need soap, especially in the winter when we're covered up and not even exposed.
When you get out of the shower, apply a moisturizer right after you dry off. Look for products containing ceramide, an ingredient that helps replace the skin's natural oils. I gotta scratch even just thinking about that. You may have noticed that I've moved out of our lovely studio and into my friend Adam and Kendall's apartment. Adam actually works with me over at WHVL-TV, and we're proud to say, with our both love of pets, we're proud to introduce a new segment to the center of it all called The Pet of the Show. We're going to partner here at WHVL with Center County Paws and Nittany Beagle Rescue. I chose Nittany Beagle Rescue because I grew up with beagles. My parents have rescued 2 beagles as well. But we wanted to start with a success story, and this is Adam's cat, Gus. Gus was rescued from Center County Paws and has been a great addition to Adam and Kendall's life. He's a tremendous lover, loves to cuddle. I don't think he's really too big a fan of me, as you could tell, but oh, there he goes. How can you not love it? So sometimes when I come over, me and Gus do get to hang out, and he's a great friend of their puppy, Remy, who's a golden retriever. I'm actually looking at her. She's sitting very nicely watching me from behind the camera. So it is cold outside, and I want to remind folks to bring your pets inside, because even though they have fur coats, they do suffer from the cold just like a human would. So this is Gus. There we go, singing for the camera. So he's our first pet of the show here on WHVL's Center of It All. We look forward to bringing you more editions. Gus wants to get off camera. He's a little camera shy, unlike myself. We look forward to bringing you more pets from Center County Paws and Nittany Beagle Rescue in the future. Again, remember, it is cold outside. Bring your pets inside. That's all we have for this edition of the Center of It All. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, bring your pets indoors. It is cold outside. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and check us out on YouTube as well. Have a great day, everyone.